What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the best Week 8 games on the college football slate. Let's get into it. Starting off with the 11 a.m. games, I'm going to talk about Vandy versus LSU. LSU right now simply just does not look like a good and competent football team. Their expectations at the beginning of the year have fallen off drastically to where they are. Yes, they're 5-2. Yes, they're ranked. Do they deserve to be ranked? That's questionable. And on LSU, they don't have an identity. They have no offensive identity to go who they are. They can't run the ball well. Right now, they can't throw the ball well. Their only identity would be defense, but on offense, they lack it. For Vandy, Pavia, with his read options, kept the linebackers guessing. The linebackers weren't able to bite every time. They weren't able to drop into coverage every time. He kept them guessing, and that's ultimately why he was able to run the ball so effectively. Vandy also ran for 240 yards in this game. If LSU's giving up that many rush yards, it's pretty hard to win if you're LSU. For Vandy, if you're running for 240, you have to try to lose at that point. They had a run game. They were able to establish an identity in the game. They were able to dominate the defense, and then the offense did enough. And on third downs, they were fantastic on third downs. They were able to stay on the field when their offense had to and go score points. Last thing I want to say about Vandy is I think it's awesome seeing them in this situation and changing the narrative about Vanderbilt football is really cool to see. Vanderbilt's now a top 10 team. It hasn't been a thing since 1940. Next up, I want to talk about Ole Miss going down to Georgia. This game was kind of the way I expected it, but not as much. I mean, I was not expecting an 80-point shootout between these two teams. Neither team wanted to play defense, but when it mattered, at the end of the game, they needed to stop. The Georgia defense and Kirby Smart went out and got it. Some of my notes I took down for Ole Miss were they did the small things right all game. They were excellent on third downs, dominant on the third downs. They stayed on the field. They kept Georgia's defense on the field and wore them out. They're able to go down and score points every single drive. Opening the second half, they had a huge 75-yard touchdown that really bolstered their offense, but ultimately it fell flat at the end. A common theme right now in the season with Georgia's defense is their secondary is just not a Kirby Smart type of secondary. Their front seven is still good, but their secondary is getting torched every game, especially against Tennessee and now this week against Ole Miss. For Ole Miss, they do have some questions, though. Can their defense get those stops when they need to? Their offense is good enough. If they got a few stops a game, they could be truly dominant this season in the SEC, but they have to be able to get those stops, and yet they have not proved they can get those stops. Ole Miss's defense will be tested next week against Oklahoma. OU's offense is not a slouch. Were they great against Texas? No. Were they better against South Carolina? Absolutely. Ole Miss defense will get tested, and their offense will get tested also headed down to Norman. About Georgia's secondary needs to get better. Kirby Smart has to get these secondaries to be better, or they're not going to be able to win championships, which is the expectation at Georgia right now. Gunnar Stockton looks fantastic. I mean, you'd be silly not to have him in the Heisman conversation at this point with how good he's looked. I mean, 300 passing yards, 4 tutties on the day, 0 interceptions. He's looked good. He's taking care of the ball, and he's playing what they need to do to win football games. I'm not sure you can talk about Georgia right now without mentioning how good Kirby Smart is at talking to the team at halftime. If you are going to go into halftime with a deficit, Kirby Smart is the best coach right now in college football, maybe in all of football, to go in there and make the halftime adjustments to win. This is the what time this season we've seen them go into halftime losing, and Kirby Smart came out with a game plan and helped his team coach to a win. We saw it last week against Auburn, where they were down at halftime. They came back and won. We saw it this week. We saw it against Tennessee. Right now, Kirby Smart is great at making those halftime adjustments. And the last thing for Georgia is you have to give them credit. They couldn't get a stop all day. All day they were on the field. But when it mattered, 2-minute drive, up by 8. Who had to go score? Ole Miss. Georgia stopped them. Georgia got a 4 and out. 4 and out. 0 yards. Georgia's defense came through and it mattered. And that's what Kirby Smart's going to do. He's going to coach them to help them win when the game matters. Next up, I want to talk about Tennessee headed down to Alabama. Alabama lit those cigars after a dominant win against a number 11 ranked team in the country. Some of the notes I took down for Alabama were the defense of the first half was great. We all knew this coming in about Tennessee was their defense is shaky, but their offense is good. Their offense keeps them in these games. Not today. They did not. Alabama's defense held Tennessee in check that entire first half. They only scored 7 points in the first half. And then ending the first half with one of the most electric plays I've seen all season, pick 6, 100-yard pick 6, 14-point swing, took all the momentum out of Tennessee. It completely changed the game. And at the end of the day, it was a 17-point win for Alabama. Tennessee, that 14-point swing, totally different game if it doesn't happen. I'm not sure right now how you can not have Ty Simpson as your Heisman frontrunner. This dude is coming out and he is balling week in, week out. In my opinion, Alabama is a top 4 team in the country just because of how many good teams they've beat in a row. Does that week 1 loss look horrible now? Yes. But after that, they have looked dominant. They're beating Missouri-ranked teams. They're beating Tennessee. They're beating Vandy. This team just looks ready to roll right now and ready to win. Their O-line looked great. They got great run push all game. The question was, can Alabama run the football? In this game, they were effectively able to run the football pretty well against Tennessee. Granted, Tennessee's defense is shaky, but they were able to do it, and that's what matters. The only really bad thing I can say about Alabama was their tackling against the run wasn't great. We saw Deshaun Bishop run for over 100 yards. He was able to run the ball effectively against Bama, which is something Georgia was also able to do. So Bama needs to work on the run defense. Other than that, they played a phenomenal game. Headed down to Tennessee, I think the biggest thing I gotta say is that pick six. That changed the game. After that moment, the game was totally flipped. You had the momentum. You could have scored a touchdown going into halftime with momentum, and you completely lost it all. That was the game-defining play right there. Tennessee, too many penalties also. They weren't clean enough. It wasn't a clean enough game. Deshaun Bishop has come through. Back-to-back 100-yard games. Star Thomas is that second running back. It used to be running back by committee. I think now Deshaun Bishop has to be that running back one and the bell cow. You have to try to use him now in the same way as you were using running back last year. Did their defense completely go away? Yes and no. They were not able to really stop Bama from scoring, as Bama scored 37 points. But they were decent, okay? In that second half, they had to go get some stops, and they forced a fumble on Ty Simpson. Did anyone on the entire football field know it was a fumble? Clearly not, because only two dudes went after it, and it was Tennessee. Tennessee got the ball. But did they capitalize on offense? No, they didn't. That is something that they have to get better at, is if they're going to get turnovers with this bad defense, they have to be able to capitalize and get points off of them. I thought it was really interesting watching this game how little they utilize tempo. Tennessee is a team that will go tempo the whole game if they need to, and today they never really did. You'd think that with how good Bama's defense was playing, try to get them up-tempo, confuse them, make them tired, be able to get some secondary shots because of how tired they are, and they never really utilized that, which was really interesting to me. Next up, I want to talk about USC at Notre Dame. This game, USC was in control the first half, and then as soon as that game started raining, it was all Notre Dame from there on. Can USC stop the run? Last week, they looked physical. They looked good in the front seven against a really good Michigan team, and then this week they came out flat. Jeremiah Love had over 250 rushing yards. One running back, not the whole team, one running back. You will never win a football game if that's happening. It just isn't. It's not a recipe for success at USC. Also, right now, is Lincoln Riley the guy? How many more years do you give Lincoln Riley to prove we can go win a championship? He's not losing games. He's not having bad seasons. But is he the championship level head coach that a team like USC is expecting? USC got dominated on the ground game the whole time. But on offense, their pass game was working. Against a very man-heavy Notre Dame team, Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane were able to get open time after time and get good yardage. Jaden Maiava had a good game other than his 2 interceptions. I think a big turning point was when they tried the little trick play where Mekhi Lemon threw the ball and they fumbled it, and then Notre Dame went and scored. That was huge. Headed down to Notre Dame, your man coverage got cooked. At some point, you have to start incorporating more zone and less man against these teams with great wide receivers because of the week we have watched them get torched in the secondary. I remember Malachi Toney, just little zig routes every single time. Open, first down. Open, first down. And then the run game. That's all you really got to say. TJ Carr has looked fantastic this year. He didn't have to because the run game was so much there that they could just run the ball down USC's throat time after time. And ultimately, that is what won them this football game. They played gritty Big Ten football. USC did not play gritty Big Ten football. And last but not least, let's talk about a little bit about the Oklahoma at South Carolina game. Oklahoma came out and we ran the football effectively. We ran the football good. 100 rushing yards plus on Torrey Blaylock, another 50 from Xavier Robinson. It was a good running game, and that's what we needed. We really needed something to carry the momentum into next week headed against Ole Miss. This was huge. Our defense played great. We held them to 7 points. Lenore Sellers, that dude is hard to sack. There was 5 times in that game where he was wrapped up twice on one play and they didn't sack him. He's crazy. He deserves a better O-line and a better team around him. For Oklahoma, it was a good win, a good bounce back. Not a must win, but it was a game that you needed to win with your gauntlet coming up. Now, you just got to go 4-1, 4-1, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. You go 3-2, now you leave it in the committee's hands. How much do you like that? I don't love it. I know a lot of my people I talk to about football, they don't love it. So how well can the Sooners team perform now we get into this home stretch of the season? Thank y'all for listening today. Remember, these are just my takes, so leave a comment down below what y'all thought of the video. Give me suggestions for the next video you want me to make. Thank y'all for tuning in. Boomer.